All right, peace and love, family. This your boy TPG, and this is another episode of Manifesto here at the Hood Academy 910. And we got a couple little things we gonna get into, but before we get into it, Tay, introduce yourself to the people tonight.
Y'all know who care. Y'all know who's always there. I am Tay D Bear. That be me. Yes, I love you guys too. I love you guys
All
too.
right, family. So look, y'all know here at the Hood Academy, we be putting out a lot of good content for the people.
All for you.
And
All for y'all. All for y'all.
exactly, we are here to serve the people. So we we got a few little things that we gonna get into. We got a few topics, more so some scenarios. And I'm gonna give my personal opinion. I want to hear your opinion and your thought process on some of these things or on these topics. And then we gonna get into some other things. So I wanna ask you, Tay. So both of us have kids, right?
Correct.
And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say, but me personally, I have dealt with women who had other kids from other people, right?
Hmm.
So do you think what do you how do you think that interaction should be when you're dating someone and you're not the biological father of those kids? Do you think that is selfish or you know not so good for someone to just only want to deal with the mother and not the kids? Or do you feel like dating someone who has other kids from someone else, like you have to accept all of them as a group, you know?
Okay. First things first. First things first. I think we gotta learn the nature. We gotta learn the nature in which I'm here. You know what I mean? Am I here for a good time? If I'm here for a good time, I don't need to meet your kids. I don't need to meet your kids. I don't need to interact with your kids. I don't need to be around your kids because I'm not here to pour into your kids. I'm here to I guess, and I mean, since we're here, I'm here to pour into you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so, yeah. Like it's what I, it's just like I look at when you step into a kid's life, it's like beverages. You cannot step into a kid's life with beer, liquor. You got to step into a kid's life with juice, water, and milk. The reason why I'm saying it in such a way is because it has to be understood that kids are delicate, but at the same time they are complex. It's just like the human system. Kids are delicate, but they are complex. So if I step into a kid's life, I have to step into a kid's life delicately, but I have to understand that it's going to be a complex situation. So
Mm,
there has to be a overstanding, not an understanding, a overstanding of why I'm here and what I can bring to your life so that I can help you elevate as a person. Although you are not biologically mine, I still have to pour into you indiscriminately what I have. But I have to come in with patience as well. We tend to forget that when dealing with kids, especially kids that are not your own, you have to have exuberant amount of patience. You have to have an
Yeah.
exuberant amount of discipline, self-discipline, because
Yeah.
those kids will take you there. They will take you there. It will be a constant reminder that you are not my dad. You're right. I'm not your dad. But your teacher's not your daddy. You listen to them. Your
Right.
grandparents is not your dad, and you listen to them. Your friend is not your dad, but you listen to them.
Right.
Extend that same type of courtesy to me. I understand that kids don't always know what courtesy is because kids are mean. Kids are very mean. The kids are blunt. But at the end of the day, kids, whether they know it or not, they crave structure. So if you can give them a structure of overstanding and balance it out with discipline, you'll be fine. That's where I am with it. So
I agree. I agree, brother, because I kind of take the same approach on it because okay, like I said, we both have kids, right? So you know just like I know that your kids are a package deal with you. So anybody who deals with me, you gonna definitely have to deal with the fact that I have a kid and that I am a father first before anything. So if that's something that someone like, and then again too, like you said, if you are not seriously pursuing someone, you should not never be around their kids. You should never be around their kids. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's hard because I've had some females where their kid has to go everywhere they go. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know, if you want to chill with me, then you're gonna kind of have to be around my kid because my kid is right here and has nowhere else to go except for right here with me. So it's a situational thing, but I would just say for sure, if you are not seriously pursuing someone, then don't have them around your kids because you definitely want your kids to be around good vibes, good energy, and you want them to see you have a good environment and a good interaction with someone. So if that's not the case, then you should definitely keep that far away from your kids. But I'm okay. So let me shift it a little bit then, Tay. Are you how obligated are you to do for someone else's kids? How obligated are you?
extremely obligated. I'm extremely obligated. And
Okay.
the reason why I say that is because I believe that I anybody that knows me know that I believe that time is the most precious type of currency. Time is the most precious type of currency because that is the one currency that you can't take a receipt and go get it back. You know what I mean? You can go get your money back
Right.
from Walmart. You can't get your money back. I mean, you can't get your time back from life. So
Right.
with that being said, uh, children, taking care of children that are not biologically mine, you extend once again. I think the word of the day is going to be courtesy. You
Mm.
extend that courtesy to your nieces and nephews. You make sure they eat, sleep, have tissue to wipe their ass, have clean blankets to go to sleep with, have clean clothes to change into, have clean rags, to wash their ass, so on and so forth. So, with that being said, you would treat that kid with the same amount of courtesy that you would a niece and nephew, but you would treat them in an intimate setting like a child, like a child that was biologically yours. I hope what I'm saying is making sense because
No, it is.
you
It
you
is.
love you love because you wasn't you weren't given this child by normal situation. This child you were blessed with this child in your life. So treat this child as a
Right.
blessing because you may be the deciding factor in whether this kid is a degenerate or this kid is a decent human being. You know,
It
we
takes a
tend
village, right?
it really does take a village, but the parts that we don't understand, and it's the parts that a lot of us are dealing with, especially like mental health wise, is you don't want to be the one to leave a mental scar on a kid because those
Mm,
ramifications are deadly. Those ramifications are sometimes never ever recoupable. You will be that kid will be down and out. That kid will never trust anybody who shows any type of resemblance to you. So no, I don't believe that you should not be invested in a kid that's yours, but I do believe you should whenever if you do decide to invest in that kid, be extremely invested because that kid can shape your life just as much as you're shaping theirs. But you have to
right,
understand above anything else that this kid needs you. It's no different from a hot item that's on the shelves. You have to be the need that they never knew they needed because you have a different outside. You have a different outlook on that. In other words, every day I wake up after I choose to love you. And it's not like, oh well, I'm gonna wake up one morning and hate you. No, I choose to love you. I choose to pour into you because you are my child. You know what I mean?
right.
Because if you're around me, you're my child. Nieces, nephews, friends, children, it don't matter. If they're around me, they're my child. Because if it takes a village, that means that you have to be willing to die for somebody else's kid. You have to be willing to feed somebody else's kid. You have to be willing to discipline somebody else's kid. And that's another part that people tend to not realize that come with the investing part. You can't get the perks from me, but then turn around and don't want the hardships from me either.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's where that situation kind of gets a little sticky, Tay, because you are not the biological father or parent. So it's like, how far do you allow the discipline to go, right? And that's where it kind of gets sticky. But let me ask you this though. I want to ask you this, right? So I agree with everything that you just said, and I am a definite advocate for taking care of the kids, and even whether it's a significant other kids or your nieces or nephew or just a random kid walking down the block, treat all kids like they are your own. You know what I'm saying? Be a role model for them because they are the future. But let me ask you this. So it was a viral moment. This was last year sometime, I believe. But we all remember that viral moment where I believe it was a father, right? And he came to his baby mother house to drop off food for his son, but his son only, while having she had other kids. Now, was he in the wrong for only buying food for his son when she has kids from other people?
Yes,
He
yes,
was wrong.
yes. I'm gonna explain why. Because your accomplishment should not be celebrated on the backs of others' misfortune. Let
Mm,
me explain that. Let me explain that. You could have said, "Hey, I'm just gonna throw a name out here. Hey, can you get Nathan ready? Oh well, what do you got going on? I want to spend time with Nathan. I I just want to spend time with Nathan. Can just get him ready? Okay, cool. You don't even got to you because us as men we tend to over explain when the only thing we got to do is just state what we really mean. I just want to spend time with him. And even if it's
right,
just you taking him to McDonald's. Remove your child from that situation and dote on your child in an intimate setting. And by intimate, I keep saying it is okay to be intimate with your kids. I am not saying be sexual with your kids. I am
Exactly.
saying intimate. We,
Exactly.
don't confuse the two. In other words, create an intimate setting with your kids. I sat here and played chess with my son. This is all going back to the whole Nathan situation, and the dad could have picked him up. I in an intimate setting, I sat here and played chess with my son, and I talked to him. You could have what? Want to tell you what you could have done? You could have picked up your kid, took him to McDonald's, and talked to your child one on one. What's been going on with you?
Mm,
What's been up with you? Don't get him over there and ask him about Mr. Ronnie. Don't get over there and ask him about Mr. Peter. No, get over there and whenever y'all sit down, y'all eating, ask him how he's been, ask him how he's feeling. Let him know you miss him. Let him know you love him.
right.
Let him know. And it doesn't all. You don't always have to besmirch the mother to build yourself up as a father. You do not have to besmirch the mother. You can take your kid out. You can dote on your kid, love on your kid, bring them back. And before you leave, make sure you tell his mother, thank you. You might not want to, but tell his mother, thank you, because you're doing it for your child. So your child will see that my dad came and took me out. My dad thanked my mom for letting me come out. And when that, and no mother out here, unless she is bitter, will take the happiness from their kid about their dad. And what I mean by that is, if that kid comes back and that kid is happy that they spent time with their dad, the mother should only come out her mouth and say, I'm happy for you, son. I'm glad you spent time
Right.
with you. That's what he could have done. But what you did was you was like, I'm gonna show your other kids and your other baby daddies how it's done. So by there, you made the wrong statement and you made the wrong movement and you made it at the wrong time. You made it at the wrong time. And does she have a reason to be angry? No, because once again, when misfortune falls on your head, especially by your own demise, it is no longer misfortune. It is just comeuppance. It is
Mm.
just desserts.
No,
So with
I
that,
1000% agree.
so
That's
with
an
that
interesting
being said,
perspective. So you saying he should have took the kid out, ate, and then brought him back instead of bringing him the food and eating in front of the kids. And now it's like, well, dang, he got something, but they don't.
exactly, because the statement that I'm here to make is that I love my child and I'm a great dad. Not that, and I'm not making that statement. We have to make that statement to our kids. I love you.
Yeah,
And I am here for you. Not to the
yeah,
mothers, because we tend to think whenever we, dads especially, whenever we want to show our baby moms or whatever that we're no longer thinking about them, we tend to think that that includes bossing up, especially with our kids. We think that includes bossing up. In other words, oh, I just bought that nigga 6 pair of J's. Her other baby daddies don't do that shit. If you need,
yeah.
if them other niggas don't do for theirs, I'm gonna do for mine. No, you don't got to do that. I'm gonna tell you what you could do. You could take him school shopping. Take him school shopping. Make sure he take his clothes in. Keep some clothes at your house, especially
Yeah.
because if you're a good dad, you're getting your kid. And I gotta assume that you and the mother's not together. So keep some clothes at your house. Send him with some clothes, and then when it's all said and done, let him know I really had a good time, son.
Yeah.
I really had a good time. Kids don't care. Kids don't care about these shoes, man. Kids don't care about all that shit because if that dad would have showed up with a Nutri-Grain bar and a fucking jungle juice, that kid would have still been happy to see their dad, bro.
Exactly. Nah, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. It's not. I Okay, so I definitely agree, and we don't know the full backstory. We don't know what bro intentions was. We don't know if she was just overreacting. We don't know the full story. So I was just bringing that up just to see your opinion and just to give the people some feedback on certain situations like that because um it is listen, life is difficult out here, man, and we do
Very.
not have all the answers.
Nope.
So you know, sometimes we have all made bad judgment calls, but I definitely agree with that. And you know, I do things like that myself. Like when I have my son, it's just me and my son. And I make sure I tell him I love him as much as I can. I make sure I hug him. I make sure he knows it's okay that if he's ever in a stressful or uncomfortable situation or anybody's making him uncomfortable, that it is a safe place to express that and he will not ever get in trouble. Even if I'm tripping, like if I'm doing something, which I would never do, but if I'm doing something to ever make him uncomfortable, you can tell me, hey, listen, this not right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we gotta definitely show more love to the babies, man. Like you could have, you know, a Happy Meal ain't that much. Like we don't know bro's situation, but you know, he could have took them to McDonald's and y'all ate and chilled and talked and vibed, which would have been a way better deal for the kid anyway. You know, or you could have, you know, just you know, bought everybody a Happy Meal, so it's not, you know, too much of a big deal because it's not about whatever, you know. That's an innocent soul at the end of the day. So, you know, I agree with that. I agree, bro. Um, so let's see what else I got on here.
And,
Okay.
and and while you looking up something, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Whenever
Hmm.
you're doing for your kids, make sure the actions match the intention. Don't
Yeah.
ever give your kids the best while the intentions are the worst, because it'll never work out in the end.
Right. Nah, right. I definitely agree. I agree. All right, so look, we gonna kind of shift the conversation a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay.
Um, so look, and these are all, you know, hypothetical questions. None of this is serious. These are just, you know, different scenarios, especially from the show. You know what I'm saying? So listen, do you think do you think it's okay for your significant other to have access? And I'm talking about full access, like the passcode to your phone. Do you feel like it's okay for your significant other to have access to your phone?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because I'm like this, and we always, when I start smiling, I'm about to come with some real deal shit, bro.
Right.
If my significant other, if we fucking raw, we living raw truth.
Mm,
We're living raw comfort. We're living raw happiness. Raw. You know what I mean? Straight raw. Not even on no funny shit. Raw. Like, bro, you should
nah, I feel you.
you should have. There's no way that I'm dropping raw dick in you, but I don't know the passcode to your phone. There's no way I'm
Nah,
dropping.
that is crazy though.
There's no way I'm dropping raw dick in you, and I can't and I can't ask you who you talking to. There's no way that I'm dropping raw
Mm,
dick in you, and I can't ask you how you know him. Because
nah, that's real.
once again, it's all about paying that tax. If the price, if the price, how would I put this? If you go into a store and you see the price and it says $1.99, you always have to do what? Account for that tax, right?
Right.
So watch this. If I am fucking her raw, that's the price. But the tax behind it is, a matter of fact, if you're letting me fuck raw, the tax behind it is I'm going to ask personal questions.
Facts.
I'm going to ask personal questions because we are living raw. It's not even, and I know it sounds funny, but it's the truth. Like
Nah, I feel you.
because my perspective is just that. My perspective is what are we doing? What are we doing? If I'm dropping, if we're having unprotected sex, and I don't ask these questions, you could be out here having unprotected sex with somebody else and fuck around and kill me.
Boom.
You see what I'm
Facts.
saying? So with that being said, I need to let you know the same way I want you to let me know. So we got a common understanding. So that we have a common understanding that by us living this lifestyle, whether if it's monogamous, if it's us just having fun in between, whatever, I have to be ready to pay that tax. I have to be ready to pay that tax, just like you got to be ready to pay that tax. And the tax is I'm going to ask about your phone. But this is the kicker. We wouldn't have to play this game at all if you did not, or if I did not have secrets. There should be nothing we can't talk about. That's what I mean by raw communication. I shouldn't have to ask for your phone because I should know how you think, move, act, and or whatever in between. I should know that. Because why? Because we're living raw emotions. It makes no sense to me how somebody can get upset about what we're doing, or somebody get upset with you about having these raw emotions, but you're not living truthful with me. What's more truthful than giving your body, your actual body, to somebody? Talk to me. Let's be, let's keep it high. What's more truthful than that? I'm getting naked with you. For the next some odd 10 minutes or hours or whatever, I am completely vulnerable to you. So I'm willing to make myself that vulnerable, but I can't. But a cell phone is where I draw the limit. Hell no. Hell no. If anything, watch this. If anything, watch this. Why don't we have the same passcodes? Why don't we got the same passcodes? That way, you know my passcode, I know your passcode, but it's a passcode on our phone. You see what I'm saying? It's a passcode on our phones. So we can change the narrative. It's all about, like I said, when the narrative meets the perspective, it basically becomes something completely more intriguing, and that is the truth. The truth is, if you fucking roll, and you out here, you saying you in a relationship, that person should have no problem with going through your phone. Matter of fact, that person would not go through your phone if you're fucking wrong, living truthfully. Want me to tell you why they won't go through your phone? Because they can trust you. Trust and communication. When you leave out that house, you go down the street. Let her know I'm going to this person's house. Be honest. Don't lie. Be honest. One thing I've learned about relationships nowadays is that the one that be completely honest, the one that is completely honest, they don't get left. How many times a nigga tell you, I'm gonna still fuck her and I'm gonna fuck you, and they ass to still stick around? How many times have you seen? How many times have you seen somebody get their ass beat, find out somebody's doing drugs, and they still stick with them? You see what I'm saying? That's raw. That's a raw truth. You on drugs? That's raw. So
No, I definitely agree. I agree. Like me, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I don't check phones, but I do. But and the only reason I say I don't is because I really don't. I'm not gonna ask you to go through your phone. I'm not gonna wait till you sleep. I'm not gonna sneak around and do it. If I do go through your phone, I'm gonna do it in your face. But at that point, we already have an issue because, like you said, if we sleep and by the way, this is manifesto. So we're just listen. Anybody that you are giving your body to, that is your husband or wife. I don't think the people know that.
What you mean by that, bro?
So what I mean by that, Tay, is the fact that and we grown on here. We grown. So what I mean by that is the penis and the vagina is like two pieces to a puzzle. And when they come together, right? You are now connecting and creating soul ties with someone, right? So anybody that you give your body to, whether you're a woman or a man, that is now considered to be your husband or wife. Why? Because when we are doing what people call having sex, when we are doing that, having sex is not just a quick little let me get my rocks off. No, we have sex to create life. We do that to create life, right? So it's not just something that we just, throw around and just do, whenever we bored or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really a way deeper divine meaning and spiritual connection going on when we are giving our bodies to 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 anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing, but like you said, if we don't already have that communication going on to where I shouldn't have to look through your phone, I shouldn't have to have those trust issues to, I don't believe what you tell me, I need to see for myself. But I'm gonna be real, the Capricorn in me, right? I second guess everything. So I'm gonna be real. You can tell me whatever. And just depending on our vibe and how locked in we are, I'm gonna believe you and I'm gonna trust you to a certain extent because the Capricorn in me will not allow myself to trust anything 100%. So it may be just one time out of the year or some shit like that where I just really randomly just want to go through your phone just to see what's up for real, for real. But that's just me. And I may not even want to do it. I may just ask you just to see how you gonna act.
And let me piggyback off what you said about going through the phones and whatnot. Please understand that the the seed of doubt, a seed of doubt to choke out a garden of trust. It don't have to be fully bloomed. It does not have to be fully bloomed. A seed of doubt will choke out a garden of trust to the highest level because once that seed has been planted, it does not take long to sprout and it never comes to the surface. And when it does, it's already too late. It's already too late. If it's just like finding out that there's a leak in your dam. Once you find it, it is already too late because the damage is already done. The only thing you can do is rebuild, refocus, redirect, and last but not least, reform yourself because we have come a long way as people, but I'm starting to believe that when it comes to anything intimate, it's always coming with a stipulation. That's why I say unconditional love is dead. Unconditional love is dead. Anybody who told you can love somebody unconditionally, they lied to you. Because if your mama wasn't your mama, you wouldn't love her. You wouldn't love her. If your kids wasn't your kids, you wouldn't love them the same. And I'm not talking about what we our situation earlier. I'm saying we walk past people every day and show them no love. So with all that being said, love is not conditional. I mean, love is not unconditional. Love is very conditional, and those conditionals, those conditions are only built in the best way possible by reassurance. In other words, if I have reassurance that you love me, I don't have to go through your phone. If I have reassurance that I'm the only one, I don't have to worry about where you're going. If I have reassurance that everything is okay, I don't have to worry. So therefore, the seed of doubt has no room. And the seed of doubt is always the seed of doubt will always be fed by bullshit. Bullshit. If you out here doing bullshit, guess what? You're watering that seed of doubt. But if you're giving reassurance, that seed has no place to grow. None.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Um, so I would say the lesson from that is to the people, just give your significant other that reassurance, man. And if you or them feel the need to hide their phone, or oh, this is my phone, so this is my privacy and this and that, well, obviously it's something in there that you don't want revealed. So, you know, how locked in are we? If, like you said, we can do everything in life, we can have kids, we can, we can live together, we can play house, but you know, people draw the line at going through your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes absolutely no sense. Um, and the only real form of unconditional love is self love. And I'm gonna be real with you, and your kids too, your kids too.
I gotta stop you right there, brother. I gotta stop you
You
right there.
don't you don't think so?
This, this is where we part ways, man. This is where we part ways. And just to let you know, just to let you know how much we part ways. Yeah, we this far apart.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, we this far apart, man. Because I gotta put it to you like this, man. I don't believe self love is unconditional. It's no
No.
way you no self love is not unconditional. It's not. If self love was unconditional, suicide would not be a thing.
Mm,
Suicide would not be a thing at all. If self
mm,
love was unconditional, self harm would not exist. The truth is, you need to reassure yourself. How many times have you? The same way you can second guess yourself is the same way you can reassure yourself.
yeah,
But it is
I
when you
agree.
doubt. It is when you doubt yourself. It is when you choose to abandon yourself that you end up in one of the most toxic of situations for yourself. So I will not sit here and say confidently that self love is unconditional. Just like I won't sit here and say loving your kids is unconditional
Mm,
because there's a condition to loving your kids. You have to provide for those kids, right? There's
yeah,
no way I can sit. There's no way I can sit on my ass and say I love my kids, but my kids is living in squalor.
yeah.
There's no way I
No,
can
that's
sit
a
and say
fact.
there's no way I can sit and say I love my kids, but I'm burning them with cigarette butts. I'm selling them to the highest bidder. I'm not. I'm tearing them down mentally. I'm not pouring into them. There's no way to say that. So with that being said, it is not unconditional. It's just the conditions that are set are the conditions that are set makes it look as though there is no conditions at all. It's just that simple. We we
Okay.
tend we we tend to put it in routine to take care of our kids so much so that it is no longer looked at as a responsibility. It's looked at as a way of life.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I agree. Because, but I feel like my perspective from saying that self love is the only form of unconditional love is because it is conditional, and it is a situational, a circumstantial type of thing, because there are people who do not know how to love themselves. But I feel like in a healthy state of mind, nobody is going to love you like how you're supposed to love yourself. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, or like you said, it is conditional. And I feel like what I meant by, as far as the kids being unconditional love, is because yes, you do have to take care of them, and no, you cannot technically say you love your kids, but you're not gonna get up and make sure that you putting in the work to make sure that they good, fed, clothed, bathed, and all the necessities that they need. You know what I'm saying? So, having kids does come with conditions and things of that nature. Yes, but there are some parents out here who struggle with addiction, um, struggle with mental depression, struggle with illnesses, we'll say, struggle with different things. And these kids, whether they're too young and naive to understand the problem, or whether they are grown enough to understand that, okay, my parent is sick right now. Kids, like, there's some parents out here who, technically speaking, are a little bit unfit, and their kids know that and feel that shit, but they trying, or they're there. You know what I'm saying? So kids, even in some fucked up conditions, will still love and be there for their parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really up to the parents to mess up that unconditional love part. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll love you no matter what, as long as you do certain things. And it's not even a material thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're there and you're trying, you know what I'm saying? Your kids is gonna forever be there for you.
So let me ask you this.
Supposed to be.
Because you said something about trying. You said something
Hmm.
about trying. At what point, like just asking, at what point, and just bear with me here. At what point does trying does trying does not become? At what point does trying no longer becomes a great excuse? You know what I'm saying? Because we have to really evaluate some things. Sometimes you have to love your kids enough to let them go. And what I mean by that is, if you are trying as a mom and it's not working, and grandma say, let them come live with me till you get on your feet, love your kids enough to let them go. Don't be like, nah, I'm still trying. Because it's think about how much damage you're going to do by trying. It's just like somebody who's trying to help, but everything they're doing is completely shit. There's like, you acknowledge the effort, but you still have to make up for the actions that are being done. Effort and effort, I'm sorry, a honest effort. When you put in an honest effort and you've done all you can do, that's when it's time to maneuver things a little bit more differently as a parent. You know, if there's a parent out here that's struggling, like I'm gonna use my childhood for example. My father, I thought my father hated me. I thought my father hated me. But it wasn't until I got older that I realized my father was a schizophrenic. It wasn't until I got older that I realized my father was hooked on cocaine. It wasn't until I got older that I realized my father drank beer because he cannot deal with reality. So therefore, it was never that I had to learn that. I had to learn that. But as a kid, I just thought my father hated me. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I was a sickly child. I had grandma's epilepsy. So, looking back on it, it's like this right here. You're a schizophrenic person who's on cocaine and you're drinking, and you have an epileptic son. That is a lot for anybody. You know what I mean? That's a lot for anybody. And I'm not making excuses, but the more he tried, the less I was willing to extend that courtesy of hearing him try. I don't want to hear that you couldn't make it. I don't want to hear that this, that, and the third. I don't want to hear excuses. And even though it's a valid excuse, the feelings and the damage has already been dealt. But had you said I love my kids enough to let them know that I am not okay, had you had the mental strength to step back and say, I love my kids enough to let them know that I cannot be there for you in the way that you think, but I always love you. My father has never said I always love you. Never. Instead, my father always asks, "Do you love me?" And I tend not to answer